Welcome to EmployeeConnect. In this video, you'll learn all about tips and tricks for administrators and system users. So first of all, of course, you'll need to make sure that you've logged in and you've got admin access. And from here, we're going to go to Advanced and then to System Management. We're then going to navigate to Users on the side menu, and then to Add New User. And this is how we create a new user, which in EmployeeConnect we call System Users. So let's go through a run through of how this works, because this is really important and this is great functionality for an administrator to use. So System Users are identical to a normal employee file that you would add through the normal HR People menu, except that they will not flow through to payroll. So adding system users is really helpful in instances where you might have offshore employees where you don't want them to synchronize with your payroll system, or for any other purpose. Do note that system users can be assigned positions, will appear in performance reviews, under your home menu, under the organization chart. They just will not flow through to payroll. So system users are a really, really good way to cater for that means where you've got employees that you don't want to be part of your payroll system, or to give access to the system to someone who is outside of your organization. For example, you might have an external HR consultant and you don't want them to be technically part of the organization, but to have a login to the system. So system users are actually a really, really handy way to give different types of people access to your system, and you can ratchet that up or down depending on kind of your use case. And to add a system user, it's really easy. You just go to Advanced and System Management like we have, and under Users, you click on Add New User, and then all you'll need to do is go through and add in their person ID and their name. You'll want to set them a username and their password, and of course, you'll probably want to make sure that their login is enabled, otherwise they won't be able to log in. You don't need to worry about their login domain or anything like that, but under Security Group, you'll want to select what kind of access to the system that they've got, and the configuration type, so whether they're in onboarding or they're a standard employee and so forth. And then under the System User tab, there's some additional things that you can do here, like define their first name and their last name and assign them a position and so forth directly from here. But once you've created them, you can do that through all of the other menus that you're used to assigning normal employees all of their additional information. So let's go through and add one now. It's that simple. You just need to define all of the info to set someone up so they can access the system. If you want to, you can also create a start and an end date. That's handy if you've got someone who's like a fixed term contractor, so you know when you want to lock them out of the system. Otherwise, you don't need to do this if you don't want to. You can also actually mark them as a contractor if you'd like. And if they were a manager, you can choose whether they do or don't have access to people's salaries or their personal information. You can also assign them directory information. And under the System User tab again, like we said before, you can choose all this information. What's also really handy is this status flag option where you've got visible and hidden. Again, by default it's on visible, which means that they will appear everywhere in the system. But if you'd like, you can set them to hidden, and that actually will mean that they will be able to have access to the system, but they will not appear in the organization chart or under position assignment, and other employees won't even know that they're there. So that might cater more so to the use case where you've got an external consultant or something that needs access to the system and you don't want them to appear anywhere. Where if maybe, for example, you've got employees who aren't part of payroll, so you don't want them to flow through, I would probably recommend having them as visible. So that's kind of an example of how you would or wouldn't use the visible and hidden flags. And once you've done with all of that, all you need to do is click on the save icon. And EmployeeConnect will tell you that the changes have been saved. And it's as simple as that. Do note that the security group and configuration are really, really important. Again, depending on whether you're a serious or an enterprise client, is what you will choose under those drop downs. And the security group, whether it's you want to add someone who's an employee, a manager, an admin, or a system admin. Again, security group and configuration for a system user are exactly how they would be for a standard employee. So that was another tip and trick for administrators, and that was in regards to system users.